Hey, this is Nick Goodman with ITologist, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why it would make sense and when it would make sense, and for what business type it would make sense to go with Cisco and Cisco Meraki when it comes to your networking and infrastructure. So in prior videos, we talked about other vendors such as Ubiquiti and really where that makes a lot of sense to have an installation for them as a vendor and an ecosystem. But today we're going to focus on Cisco. And I know you've heard the name. They're the world leader in networking. They've been pioneers for a long, long time. They are elite and the elite of the elite. Companies and corporations, big businesses, municipalities, government, all these businesses are really heavy with Cisco infrastructure. So for the companies and the businesses that are considered probably more on like the medium plus to large and definitely enterprise and multi-location enterprise businesses, you're really going to be locked into looking at Cisco for an overhaul or an upgrade of your network, and specifically the Meraki equipment, which is really fantastic when it comes to management and upgrading and portal access and alerts and all those kinds of things that, in older versions of Cisco equipment, were more clunky, and in like the classic Catalyst, where you really needed to know have a programmer that understood the language and iOS and the operating system and really get in there to make changes. With Meraki, you are free as a bird to be able to do that. Now, yes, Cisco is a little bit more expensive. Yes, there are ongoing licensing costs related to running and being entitled to use Cisco equipment. But in a lot of business cases, it simply just makes the most sense because you're going to have the highest grade reliability. You're going to have redundancies when it comes to your power and your ports and your networking. You're going to have visibility. You're going to have licensing and definition entitlements when it comes to malware protection and threat protection on the firewall side of things, and replacement cycles for failures and being able to turn that around really quickly with with replacement equipment to keep your network up and running at a highly efficient level. So just really briefly today, more than anything, I just want to go in and discuss and show some examples of the Cisco products and the infrastructure, and why that may be a fit for you if you're a business that meets the size criteria that I outlined at the start of this video. So there, obviously, with anything networking equipment wise, you're going to have your Cisco routers, you're going to have your Cisco switches, your power over Ethernet switches, your wireless, mobile device management access. You're going to have your one of the new things that we've been rolling out for clients are sensors, so that you can have alerts when somebody opens or closes a door, when the temperature or the humidity reaches a certain level, and all of that communicates wireless with a battery, which is pretty amazing, back to you as the admin or to us if we're supporting you, or business leadership that needs to be in the know of those types of things. It's pretty awesome, to be honest. So as we go into these different products, we can see, obviously you've got your switches, you've got your standard port count switches, and really depending upon how involved your business is and how many physical ports you need. In all cases, when we come in and we do an overhaul in an infrastructure build out or an infrastructure renovation, in a refresh, we aim to have home run connections from our patch panels and our switches to every single device on our network. A lot of times you probably walked around, you've seen little tiny dumb switches located all throughout your network. Maybe the prior IT person really didn't have the time to run new cables, or just, wasn't interested, and it was just a lot quicker and easier to just throw a little switch down on the floor and plug, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 devices into it. Well, that can cause a whole host of issues and a lack of control. And once you start multiplying that out towards different departments, different offices, different parts of your building, it really becomes a problem. So when we come in, we eliminate all of that in almost all situations, unless there's absolutely a specific reason to to have that in play. And even then, we would want to use something that's within the same Cisco ecosystem to have the visibility and the control and the management of what exactly is going on from a traffic standpoint. So, you've got your switches, you've got, the stackability, which is really awesome. So you can have, 2, 3, 4, however many switches physically separate, but logically appear as one, which is great with redundancy, which really gives you added, efficiency and the ability to really know that your network is going to be performing at an ultra uber high level at all times of the day. Obviously you've got your, your wireless related stuff. You can get into your access points, which have an insane coverage. I mean, we were at a location where there was one in a back, kind of like a multi-purpose room that they'd use for meetings or stand-up conversations or hearings or whatever. And literally almost at the entire front of the house, at the entire front of the building, we were still able to have a signal from all the way to the back. Granted it was diminished, but we still picked up the signal, which was absolutely insane. So these access points from Meraki are absolutely hyper powerful, and they are no joke for sure. Of course, obviously you've got your other features such as your mobile device management, which is really an important thing these days because you have people who are bringing their own equipment into the network. You've got company issued laptops or tablets, Surface Pros, iPhones, mobile devices. Doesn't matter. The key with this is you can make sure that all of your devices are going to be able to be remotely managed, controlled, policied, and in the event of a loss or a theft or a failure, that they can be wiped so that your company data can securely be preserved and protected, and not have to worry about having somebody else in their hands basically go through the process of stripping you of that sensitive and confidential information potentially. We look at this picture here, you've got your switch, you got your cloud access, you've got your smart managed device, you've got a wireless access point, you got a security camera, your dashboard. Here's the sensors that I was talking about earlier, really cool, where there's a contact there. So when that breaks, much like a security system with a window or a door or glass or whatever that may be, it'll send an alert. It'll also do an environmental variable alert for temperatures and humidity and dryness and moisture and things of that nature. Pretty awesome, pretty cool stuff. Once we get into the actual client dashboard specifically, again, it's all based on entitlements. So there's a lot of upfront work to make sure you're getting the right products for your environment and for your budgetary needs, because there is an ongoing cost and expenditure related to being able to operate and have these equipments as far as an uptime is concerned. This is pretty, I'm just going to switch to kind of show you a little bit of an overview from kind of what we see from an admin standpoint. It's pretty awesome. It's very comprehensive. It shows you exactly what's going on with the health of your network, the number of devices, and whether or not there's an issue. If there was a device that was out or down, or that was requiring a firmware update, maybe there was a critical update that came through that needed to be performed, it would be alerted in this dashboard. All of the devices on the actual network themselves are being shown, and to what network they're being connected to from a wireless perspective and for a wired perspective as well. Super comprehensive, great visibility. What type of traffic is going on your network, whether it's web traffic, YouTube, Amazon Video, Hulu, Netflix. Like, we got to get on these people for watching this stuff. Like, what's happening on this network, right? And you can block that if you have to. You can go and take that into your own hands, and you can make sure that those types of services are either completely not available or only available at certain times of the day, or even for certain users for that matter, which is pretty great. So we can go into the ecosystem. This is really going to show us physically what's going on with our ports and our switches, the location of everything, the status of everything, whether or not there's a version that needs to be updated and what type of version it is. All of these pieces of equipment that we implement and install come with VPN connectivity, so it's very easy to just go here and literally say, I'm going to connect, and I'm now on VPN, and I'm now within the ecosystem and on their network, and I'm within the within their exact ecosystem of literally, like I was sitting right in the office, which is really awesome, and very fast too, because a lot of this is something that we set up on the front side. We take care of all this for you, and really only in the event of an issue are you going to be uh, really calling out and reaching out to us to manage and support whatever it is that's going on, which is really great. So let's go back to the Meraki store one last time and just give you a sense of some other things that you have at your disposal to go ahead and grab. The Wi-Fi 6 is the new Wi-Fi standard. There's different types of devices that support Wi-Fi 6. It gets you greater bandwidth and speeds. There's some long-range Wi-Fi 6 devices that you can go and have a lot further of a signal strength than previously was the case with prior versions of wireless, which is a really nice feature to have. You don't need to have quite as many devices potentially in your environment, and they can support a large number of concurrent client connectivity per each access point. I mentioned to you before about the sensors, which is really great. Not really much to go over there other than really just understanding that you can have those located wherever you need to have a sensor and for whatever reason. You can also go to a smart camera system with Cisco, which is really great. So Cisco does provide their own brand of cameras if you wanted to keep things within the same ecosystem, which is really a nice thing to have, just to keep visibility on everything that's going on. Again, there is licensing fees associated with that, but unbelievable quality. They can even be triggered to a sensor to where if a sensor goes off, the camera also pairs and begins recording specific to what happened with that triggering of that sensor. So really cool stuff that you would expect out of Cisco. And then of course, for your cellular connectivity, it's a really good option. Some of the clients that we have are in locations that do not have the ability to have a internet service provider, which is really crazy. And, they need to get in internet access for cameras or, light access or remote visibility for some case. And you can do that with this. There's equipment that Cisco provides where you can put in your own carrier SIM and light that up to your network and make sure that you're on, Verizon or AT&T or whatever it might be. And use that as a supplement to your main internet service provider, even if it's in a backup capacity, as a back door to gaining access to equipment in the event of an outage. It doesn't matter. So for businesses that are really hyper-focused on scaling and the size of their operation, enterprise class, large businesses, big businesses, multiple locations, campuses, the best of the best, highest uptime, highest reliability. They really want nothing but the best. This is going to be the solution for you through and through. And we would love at ITologist to have a deeper conversation with you around your needs and your budget and putting together a project plan that has the exact specifications that will fit exactly what it is that you're looking to get out of this, and help you install, implement, and be on your optimized way to having an elite grade network. Get in touch with us today. The description information in our section below will have our contact, and I will love to have a deeper conversation to see how we can support you and get you moving in the right direction from point A to point B as fast as possible. Talk soon.